Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the 4-3 show. I'm your host, Ryan Blake. I'm alongside Parker Dunn, Pat Fortuna, and Dominic Stern. Pat, you're back. Last week we missed you. You happy to be back with us, or are you glad when you're not on the show?
Oh no, I'm very happy to be here. Actually, I love getting to spend some time talking sports with my buddies and Ryan. I did text Dom. It might have been too short notice. Every week, I'm trying to get Dom to fade us in with some music. I know that this is a good fade actually this time.
Thank you. Well, I actually did it this week, so
yeah, I was really hoping. I texted you a specific song and said, "Please fade us in with "Industry Baby" by Lil Nas X."
Oh, I didn't see that. I was more concerned with just getting us started on time, and I just used the song that was on.
No, I get it. Just next time, I just want to hammer the trumpet section.
Well, the thing is that we don't control what song we have on when I enter the studio.
Right.
So it's just kind of up to whatever Futures Female leaves on for us, which doesn't really matter. Normally it's some old folk song, but it was actually like a poppin' song. You got me in love again.
Yeah. Industry Baby next week.
Sure.
Cool.
I can DM them and say put Industry Baby up.
Yes, make sure to do that just for Pat. That'll make him happy.
Thank you. Or just a banger. Fade Ryan in with his voice goes well with anything. But
no, it doesn't.
Thank you.
His voice.
What? Come on, let me have one compliment from Pat for once.
It's all you're gonna get, so don't get used to it.
Yeah, you had to ruin it, Tom.
There you go. I'm back on StreamYard.
Yes. Tom just ruins everything. Gentlemen,
he's projecting.
We had a nice week of football this week. Maybe not for you guys. I know you guys suffered some tough losses, but
4-3 show. Put the 3.
I knew that would be the first thing you said.
But
well, you know what?
Here's the thing. It was a great week of football. So whichever one of you wants to start, let's go ahead and do our team performances.
Well, let's just start the winner. Go ahead.
No. I always go last.
Why do you have? You don't have to go last. You don't have to.
Fine. I'll go. Finally, the Chiefs got back in the win column.
Finally, it was 2 weeks.
I was gonna say, didn't you win like 16 of your last 17 before that?
So I don't need to see them lose twice in a row. And Mahomes looked good, besides his stupid interception.
And 3 times in 4 games if you count the Super Bowl, because they lost that.
3 times in the last 5 games, Pat.
My bad.
But overall, the offense looked great. Mahomes had 5 touchdown passes. Tyreek Hill is back. He is one of 2 wide receivers ever to have multiple games with at least 10 receptions for 185 yards and 3 scores. He joins Jerry Rice as the only 2 to ever do so. Big Red, Andy Reid, made NFL history yesterday. Became the first NFL coach in history to have 100 wins with 2 separate franchises.
He also didn't have to go to the hospital after the game, so that's
right
in the right direction.
I'm surprised because he did say that he enjoyed a couple of Philly cheesesteaks before the game.
I was gonna say, no wonder he went to the hospital.
No, he's saying that before this.
No, I know. But I thought you were gonna say the record he broke was the first NFL head coach to coach consecutive weeks without going to the hospital, but then I realized that would be false.
It's pretty funny that he reached his 100th win with the Chiefs
in
against
Philadelphia.
just against the Eagles.
It's all a simulation, guys.
It's all simulation.
I had someone tell me that everything was a simulation this weekend. We're not going to go into the details of what the woman said to me. It was about the reasoning of why life is a simulation, but that's the second time I've heard that since Friday.
But overall, the offense looked great. Everyone got involved besides Kelsey, which was weird because he's been the top guy, but the Eagles did a great job taking him outside over the middle. They guarded him really well. Clyde Edwards-Helaire might actually be fixed. But I got to knock on wood because I
has one good game.
Defense, I watched that game. It was so hard to watch.
For 2 straight weeks, he's had 100 yards rushing and a receiving touchdown.
Yeah,
Ryan,
2 straight good weeks.
Ryan, you can say that he had a good game last week, but I also heard you saying you wanted to murder him after.
Hold on. I'm not saying murder. Did I say the city wants to set him on fire? Yes, because probably they did. But
that's more gruesome than murder.
I don't even.
That's still murder.
Both of
them are murder.
But you could live and just eat through a straw the rest of your life.
No, he's looked really good. I like when the Chiefs actually get him involved in the passing game because that's where there's a reason why he was drafted at 32 is because he is such a great guy to have in the passing game. So I was very happy with that. The defense still sucks and still pisses me off.
Put on some pads,
big man. Say that. That's one of the words in the SEC.
No, that is not.
FCC, yeah. PISS is 100% on
No,
there.
it's
What
not.
word? Say it
I
again.
looked at. I will bet you $100
it is,
it's on
yeah.
there.
I'm
No,
looking
it's
it up
not.
right now. Hold on,
On
keep
it.
talking.
I will bet you
Either way, I
$100 on the air
I just
right now.
want to say, like,
It
and
is
I'm not,
on
this
there.
isn't to take away from Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but like, I watched that game and
It
it's
is
the
one of them.
O-line.
Is it really?
It's
Yeah.
the O-line.
I did not know that.
Parker, stop talking about sports. Ryan just said one of the 7 words.
Hey, don't act like you haven't said one of
Yeah,
them.
you
I've said about
so
4
weird.
of the 7 words on air. So, yeah.
But no,
Angers you.
the defense was horrible. Jalen Hurts threw for 387 yards. Devontae Smith had a career high 122 receiving yards. But there's one right side coming out of it. They actually stopped the Eagles from getting into the end zone when they were in the red zone 3 times. So, you know what? That's a win in my book.
Dude, you have no idea how close I was to sending off that banger of a tweet about the Banded Brothers.
You were close.
I was very close.
But
I had it's
Wasn't
still
it
in my
the touchdown that was
draft.
taken away due to a penalty?
Yeah, there were multiple times
Yeah.
where I had it ready, and I'm like, all right, they score here. Myself, I'm gonna send out a Banded Brothers tweet, but I ended up opting to not because the Chiefs did win. They should have won by 3 scores, but they garbage time touchdown for Philadelphia.
But here's the thing. I just think that when you look at it, the Chiefs defense, last week they made an improvement in the running game, and it looked fine. It still isn't great, but it looked a lot better than it had been looking once again this week. They just need to get fully healthy. That's really the only thing. But I'm happy. A win to win, and that's all I can say for this week. Now let's get over to you guys.
Well, I'll talk. I'll do it. As emotional as it is for me.
Wait, hold on. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Jody Fortson. Remember the name. That dude is going to go crazy.
I thought you were about to
this
say my mom's name, Jody Fortuna.
No.
I was like, what do you have to say about my mom, Ryan? Say it on air right here, right now.
Okay, I'll
Let's
say
go.
it. Your mom's an incredible woman, and she's better than you.
Yeah, that's probably true. She does a lot for her community.
And you do nothing for your community.
That's true, but I'm here, aren't I? I'm providing laughter through
The airwaves of Taylor Ball.
punching down on Ryan for an hour a week. Anyways,
Only an hour? You do that every time I see you.
yeah, on air though. It's only an hour a week. But anyways, my team, first of all, emotional game for me. I said to I watched with our good friend Jack Loader, friend of the show. And right before he walked in, there was a single tear rolling down my face. And then Jack opened the door, and I quickly it was emotional when he first came out. And then I watched the pregame video that they played at the stadium, and the standing ovation he got when he ran out. And part of me thinks it's incredible that he broke the passing record at Gillette Stadium.
It's
What?
also a simulation.
Yeah, I was about to say, life's a simulation, guys.
Simulation,
Life
man.
is.
That's another
We now
parallel.
have
right there.
2 ways to prove that, just from the NFL this past week.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. And I'm gonna say it, guys. I'm gonna say it. Everybody have their cameras ready. Everybody recording. So I have to say, I'm sorry for hating on Mac Jones.
Oh my God, it's a miracle.
Mac Jones, I'm not sold on him yet, but if he continues to play like he did last night, I think granted it was a beat up Buccaneer secondary. I think a lot of people are failing to remember that. The way he played last night against the Buccaneers was impressive. This is his 4th week as a starter in the NFL.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
After you finish your Mac Jones talk, I do want to know, if you're Bill Belichick on that 4th and 3,
I don't even want to talk about it. Of course I would go for it.
okay, I
Of
was
course.
curious.
No.
Because when I walked into your apartment last night, I can't remember what you said, but I thought,
He said he would have wanted to go for it.
okay, that's what, okay, I can't remember.
Yeah,
I'm
it
curious.
was why would we kick that were my exact words.
Okay.
Because here's the thing.
Uh-oh, he's getting real
I
close.
have a very hard time with Bill Belichick's conservative football style. We're living in a world he's an incredible coach. I'm
The
not
greatest
denying
coach of all time.
the greatest coach of all time, but he's very traditional. Very, very traditional. And he's very much if it's 4th down, we are punting the football or we are kicking a field goal. Right? And we were in this weird gray area where at the end of the game in today's NFL, you kind of got to go for that, especially when you have a kicker with an injured plant leg. It's pouring harder than it's poured in forever, and you're 56 yards out. I mean, it's a 4th and 3. It was a makeable play. We were driving. We gotten shut down on the last 2 plays, but we were having a great drive before that. We had a great drive prior to that other drive, or prior to the most recent drive. And I don't, it's one of those things where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. That's not one of the 7 words. I know that for a fact.
It is true.
And so there was just no winning in that situation. If we could have gotten 10 yards closer, I love that. So NFL or NBC shows the
The
field
distance
goal
of
kick,
how of where it would be good.
where it
Yeah.
would be good from,
Yeah.
and then it was 56 yard field goal, and it was good from 56 yards. So maybe we were just 56 and a half yards away. But it was an incredibly close kick, incredibly close game.
I will say this: that kick he had the distance. He really did there.
Yeah. And I feel good about this Patriots team. I'm not giving up on them yet. We're 1-3, but I'm not selling the team yet. I'm not giving up on the season. I think we absolutely have a chance at the wild card.
If you go 3-1 over the next 4 games, then all of a sudden you're back at 500.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a long season. You now have that extra week to get back in things, but the ACC, oh my gosh, the AFC looks like a pretty stout conference.
Yeah, which is I haven't been used to that the whole life. So.
No.
But
Luckily, the rest of your division stinks. Besides the Bills.
except the Bills, yeah.
Right. But the Bills are going to run away with that.
Hate those guys.
Yeah. Parker, you want to talk about the Broncos? Do you want me to talk about the Rams first?
I'll jump in. Yeah, so another AFC team, it lost their matchup. This was a game where I know deep down I did kind of go with like my heart. I wanted them to win that game because the reason why I was such a big advocate before we announced our actual picks and the pick'ems for the whole idea of being able to change them was because of that game. I had my eye on it. I was like, there's a chance that Dalton Reisner and Graham Glasgow are not going to play. If they don't play against Eli and the Ravens, that's a recipe for disaster. I knew that. I thought in the morning. I was busy dealing with interview stuff and, just stuff for school, like more important stuff. So ultimately, I just said, I'm going to go with my heart. We'll see if it pans out. If it does, that's a double win because obviously the Broncos win. That's great. The pick'em hits. That also wins. So I knew that my brain was telling me to change that pick because of those two things, which were the things I knew that I had to change it for. But I ultimately did not. The game didn't go particularly well. We scored and we're the first ones on the board with a touchdown to Noah Fant. Things looked fine on the defensive side. Defensively, they were getting after Lamar. They made his day really rough early on. The offense couldn't get it done until that touchdown, and it just felt like the offense wasn't going to be able to consistently get down the field with 2 backup offensive linemen against that team. Away was incredible. He's been so good so far in his young career. He was a standout player in that game. It didn't help that Teddy Bridgewater had taken a hit up high and he went to concussion protocol. He was out for the game. Drew Lock came in, didn't look good, and you couldn't really evaluate either one of those guys in this game because they were just constantly running for their lives.
Are you ready to stop the Drew Lock or stop the Teddy Bridgewater slander and move on to Drew Lock slander?
Well, I haven't been slandering Teddy since
they made the decision to start.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I understand that you've been sold on him since week 1.
The big thing with that though is like it didn't really change anything how I viewed either one of those 2 quarterbacks because no quarterback in the league could have done well with that offensive line crumbling in front of them within 2 seconds every single snap. It was really hard to watch because those guys didn't have a legitimate chance to scan the field and find the open guy when that defensive line's eating them up every other play. So
I have another question for you. Do you think that the Broncos have a chance at playoffs?
Absolutely. If we don't make the playoffs, I'd be shocked. I mean, with our injuries, every single time one of those guys getting put on IR, it does take a hit. It does go down a little bit. That's really the only scenario I see them not making the playoffs.
But do you weigh the strength of your schedule in what you've played so far and starting undefeated?
Well, I realized it was the easiest schedule in the league by far. Like, I'm not going to sit here and try and justify that. Like, that'd be insanity. Like, no. But, like, this is a good team. This was a team where going into the year, I said if they can just stay relatively healthy, they're gonna make playoffs because the defense is too good. All the offense has to do is be pretty average, and so far I'd say they've done that. But it's gonna come down to if they can stay healthy. If the guys that get back from IR can stay healthy, that's gonna be the big thing. But they just struggled a lot in this game. The Ravens defense ate them up. There was a lot of controversy with the whole Ravens going for it for no reason when they could have taken a knee. I personally don't care. It does not matter. Like, if I'm a fan, that's the thing I'm getting upset about in a 16-point loss, then I'm just not doing it right because there were so many legitimate things to be upset with. That's not one of them. So all that goofy stuff between Fangio and Harbaugh is not even necessary. It's not even worth talking about.
Understandable.
3-1 through 4. It's a good place to be. And that's where the Rams are as well. The Rams, they got absolutely ran by the Arizona Cardinals, who are, as it stands right now, the only undefeated team in the NFC, and they're 1 quarter away from being the only undefeated team in the NFL, although the Raiders do have the ball, looking to tie the game up at 21-14 as we speak. But the Rams, they just didn't come out with a game plan to succeed against the Cardinals. It was very clear from watching that game meant more to the Cardinals, which is not a good thing. Sean McVay, he owned up to it. He said, you know what, I bring my players ready to play. And that's not what you want, especially in a division like the NFC West. Matt Stafford had one of his worst games, yet McVay just kept throwing the ball. It just wasn't a good game plan. Kyler was unstoppable. He was incredible, had over 75% completion percentage, had a couple of touchdowns, ran the ball extremely well, extended drives on third down. The Rams just got outplayed by the Cardinals. I'm not concerned. And I'm hoping that watching the team against Kyler, they're going to be prepared against Russ because he's going to try and do the same thing, extend plays, get first downs with his feet. That's what it's going to be like. Fortunately, the Rams do play Russell Wilson extremely well every year because they see him all the time. But the way that they played, it's a short week, Thursday Night Football. You guys remember last time the Rams and the Seahawks played on Thursday Night Football. It resulted with me on the ground at the Taylor Place dining hall.
That was such a legendary picture. That who got it?
Brendan, I believe.
Yeah, Brendan O'Keefe.
Yeah.
Great
That
picture from him.
It was also week 5 Thursday Night Football, and it dropped the Rams to 3-2. So hoping that we don't get similar vibes there, but it should be a really good game. I look forward to hearing you guys' picks on that game. I think we should get into our weekly recaps.
All right. Surprise performances from this week. Go ahead and take this away, Parker. I know that you were doing your extensive research before the show, so you seem like the most prepared, most wanting to do this. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm notorious for kind of just dropping in and find something like before. Well, no, this week, and it's more of like a season thing, and this is just a week that kind of adds to it. And that's Washington's defense. They don't look good. They don't look anything like we expected. The team's been loading up the last couple drafts, consecutive year after year. They're putting a lot of stock in these picks, especially on that defensive line. And they just don't look very good. They gave up 30 points to a rough-looking offense in the Falcons. It's been struggling to score against other pretty solid defenses. We saw what happened against the Bucs. We saw what happened against the Giants. This is not a good Falcons team, and they barely beat them. So it's kind of a team thing as a whole, but the strength of this team was supposed to be the defense, and it's not looking that way. So that's what I noticed most this week. I noticed that team really got by, and that this defense has allowed 29.5 points per game, or at least as a team as a whole. I'm not sure. I haven't watched every second of each game if special teams or other things have caused points to be scored on them. But overall, the defense has not looked very good. This wasn't expected. I figured they'd be one of the top 3, top 5 defenses easily, and that just hasn't been the case. So it's going to be more difficult picking them with good confidence, knowing this, because I picked them to go 10-7 coming into the year, making the playoffs as a wild card team. And unless the offense really elevates or the defense finds a way to figure things out and find a good balance between the two, it might not look too pretty for them. I don't know what I have as far as pick'ems this week with them. I think I'm picking them. I can't think of the matchup at the top of my head. We'll obviously get to that. But it's not looking great. So the defense is going to have to get together.
All right, Pat, over to you.
Yeah, I think my surprise performance of the week, it's 2 teams in one red basket. I'll start with Davis Mills and the Houston Texans.
It was a college football score right there.
Listen, that was
What was surprising you about
well, it surprised me because I was high on Davis Mills. He had the highest QBR of any rookie QB going into this game. Davis Mills, those Texans, they were scrappy at the start of the season. They lost Tyrod. I expected a whole lot more out of them. And Buffalo Bills, I mean, it's such a poverty franchise. That was a pretty dominant win.
that? Wow.
Quite honestly. I mean,
Wow.
I did not expect to see the Bills win more than 6 games maybe this year. So let's see what
Pat, he is what we would call an unbiased.
Yeah.
We'll
see what the small market team can do going forward in the season. But I don't know. I'm not sold on this win. It was,
It's the Texans.
Yeah. I mean, Brandon Cooks has got to get out of there.
See, the
man.
thing is,
Dude, here's the thing. If Brandon Cooks
Hey,
is
he
not
had a
down
thing
there,
before
it's
you had a
horrible.
thing. He had a thing before you had a thing, right? That's not that.
the thing, sorry, I'll be quick, Ryan. The thing is, if you beat any NFL team 40-0, like you can't discredit that. Like that's still really hard, no matter how bad the team is, because like that's like I said,
Poor Texans.
that's like a college football game. Like that's like
Parker,
the Citadel coming in to play Alabama.
Remember when they hired Bill O'Brien and they were like, "Oh, all right, our problems are gonna start. Things are gonna start looking up. We have Brandon Cooks, Deshaun Watson,
Oh yeah, it was
and then like they were like, "Oh, Deshaun Watson did some diddling," and then they were like, "Okay, well we have Tyrod. Could be worse." And now Tyrod Taylor is injured, and
yeah.
they have Davis Mills.
Let me tell you why
Texans are
that
struggling
score
franchise.
just doesn't shock anyone. Look at Davis Mills' stat line: 87 yards and 4 picks.
Hey, you watch him out.
87 yards and 4 picks.
Never QBR.
Just a little bit.
Maybe a tiny bit.
Is this one of those QBR things where it's like if you threw the ball into the ground every single play, you would have had a better QBR?
Oh no.
I think it
That's
is. I
why
think
that
it is.
stat is so flawed.
Right. It's just hilarious.
It is. All right, Dom, over to you. Surprise performance for you this week.
How about Chase Edmonds?
Oh, yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy about that. Guy's sitting on my fantasy bench.
Yeah, same with James Conner for me.
Hey, who did you bench for?
Back-to-back
Oh,
weeks.
I benched Chase Edmonds for Miles Gaskin.
Ah, that's it.
Yeah.
Miles Gaskin did absolutely nothing.
James Conner's frustrating me a lot right now.
Yeah, no one cares about your fantasy teams. Chase Edmonds, he had 12 carries. You know, that's not a lot, but he dominated. 120 yards on the ground. That's 10 yards per carry. You guys know me. I'm a big yards per carry guy. You know, I want to see how well you're doing given the amount of carries that you're given. Some guys, they don't get a lot of carries, but they do a lot with them. Some guys, they get a lot of carries, and they just don't do a lot. Seek. So to see Chase Edmonds not get a ton of carries, but just pop off, that says a lot. He should be the primary back here. Sorry, Parker, but no one cares about your fantasy team. James Conner, he can get the goal line rushes. He did get 2 touchdowns in this game, but the Cardinals' running attack was stout. 40 attempts for 216 yards. That's 5 yards per rush. If they can continue to do that, they're going to be a very tough beat because Kyler can also throw the ball over your head, and they have a good defense. So that was a very crucial part of why the Cardinals were able to dominate the Rams by 3 scores.
All right, for me, I'm going to go with a couple players. My first one is Deebo Samuel. Once again, he had a huge game, even though the 49ers lost. He had 8 receptions for 156 yards and 2 scores.
Debo is somebody you like has such a high ceiling, in my honest opinion. I mean, such a high ceiling.
I agree, but the hype coming into this year is that Brandon Ayuk could take over as the number 1 receiver on that team. And he only has 1 touchdown, and Samuel has multiple games with multiple scores. He's been terrific this year. So I think he is shutting up everyone on how he's making that impact of that he is the number one guy in that receiving room. I'm also going to say Tyreek Hill once again because there's one thing I just want to emphasize that I didn't emphasize from earlier.
Drink.
Between
If you're playing a 4-3 drinking game, which we don't condone here on a 4-3 show, Ryan Blake did mention Tyreek Hill. It means it's time to take a drink.
Sorry, he said the R word. He said the R word. Watching some football team football on Sunday.
Between weeks 2 and 3, Hill only caught 8 passes and had 70 total receiving yards. So to see him come back and have that big of an impact, I think it's huge because you saw the Chiefs the Chiefs offense is at its best when Hill is involved, when Hill is playing well. So there's my other one. Team performance doesn't shock me.
Is it a surprise?
What?
Is it a surprise?
You know, no, it doesn't shock me. But at the
Why
same
was it
time,
your shocking performance of the week?
I'm shocked that he exploded for 186 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He's just so, like he's obviously week 1, and then like 2
197
and 3,
yards.
and then back up week 4. It's like super weird from there.
Yeah.
What you're gonna get.
It's gonna be a shame when you only finish the season with like 600 yards.
He already has over about 500 yards.
Yeah, I know.
The other performance I do want to talk about. What is wrong with the Tennessee Titans?
Well, top 2 wide receivers
Yeah.
were hurt. Their defense wasn't good coming into the season.
This
So
I think I found a defense that might be worse than the Chiefs.
Do you know Derrick Henry already has like 600 ground yards?
Yeah,
Does he?
Yeah.
his back has got to be killing him because he's carrying that offense.
I mean, he can carry a load like no other running back ever. I mean,
But
he's
still,
literally definition being built for it.
you can't rely on your running back to have nearly 600 yards on the ground over 4 games.
So you can't win like that.
No, you can't. especially with how bad that defense is.
I mean, you can because if they're healthy and they have a healthy passing attack, I think they win this game.
Well, yeah, of course, but that's
Regardless,
what
they
you're
should have
saying.
won
Like,
this game.
if those guys.
I don't
aren't in
know.
there,
How can you
and
say
they
they
have
should
to
have
touch
won
the
this
ball?
game when they trailed basically the entire game?
Yeah, no,
Or
I
they
wouldn't
were
say
never
that,
leading
but-
by more than 2 scores. Like they kicked a field goal to go up 9, then immediately allowed a touchdown. How can you say they should have won this
barely
game?
got to overtime. They were lucky to get to overtime.
You're just saying that.
No. I think that
No, you are.
No, just look at this. This Jets team is not good. Their defense, I don't know how.
Their defense
Their
is
defense
fine.
is actually fine compared to what their offense is.
I mean,
But also,
moving
there's no excuse for that secondary to be decimated like that by Zach Wilson. I almost said Justin Wilson again. Zach Wilson. Jeez.
Well, their pass rush isn't that good, and when you can't put pressure on the quarterback, he's going to make plays.
Oh yeah, that pocket was clean for Zach Wilson. Like they barely touched him all game long. That pass rush is so bad, and it was bad last year. We knew this, but
Which is pathetic in and of itself.
It's
considering
crazy
The Jets
how
have a
I wonder what that Jets kid on. You guys seen that kid on TikTok?
Yeah, I just-
finally say something positive.
I know. I wonder what he's got to say.
I'd love to see what he has to say about the Titans, though. I think that'd be funny.
Yeah, well, he only talks about the Jets. At this.
Well, if he expanded,
That
okay?
I
video,
mean,
that
yeah.
video week 2 was hilarious.
There's a lot of teams I'd like to hear him talk about.
They called Braxton Berrios the white Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, that kid's funny.
Any other surprise performances from you guys that you want to mention this week?
The Giants, they went on the road and beat 2-1 Saints.
Zero Peppers made my day with
Yeah,
how
he
he
did.
acted. That was hilarious.
What did he say?
I will not be saying that.
Oh, yeah.
We want that
We
ball.
want the ball.
Yeah, he just said, we want that ball.
F him.
Yeah.
No, I know what he said. I just wanted to see if Ryan would say another.
He just said that he wanted, that
Like
they
Ron
wanted
Burgundy
the ball.
didn't say anything on the telephone.
Right, exactly.
My question is, you do mention the Giants. Is Saquon back despite only having 52 yards on the ground?
No.
No, and it's not a matter of him being back. It's a matter of the O-line giving him a chance to do anything. Like his O-line has never helped him. They should never have taken him when they did because there was no reason to do that. There was no way that he was going to benefit from that offensive line because a running back's career, their success, 80% based on where they go, what that offensive line is going to do, and that offensive line is
Barry
awful.
Sanders would like a word, but he's
I mean,
the
that's
lone
the thing.
exception. He's the
Literally
lone exception.
one guy. Any other running back, like there's a lot of great ones.
Uh,
They needed some good O-line.
But so here's what Saquon Barkley's stat line was before he caught that 54-yard touchdown pass to end the game. 13 rushes for 52 yards, 4 catches for 20 yards. Is Saquon back, Ryan? No. The answer is no. He's hurt. He has a bad offensive line, and he's a running back.
You see how different his two legs are? in
It's
size?
incredible, yeah.
It's like a meme how different they are.
I mean, it
I've
obviously
actually
sucks
never
that
seen
it's that way, but
I haven't seen it.
I'm gonna have to look.
Yeah, look it up and show Ryan because Saquon because he tore his ACL, so
Yeah.
he couldn't work out one leg, but
Yeah, that's
you know he
true.
must have one leg on like the machine, like you know. And
Poor guy. Yeah, I mean that it does suck.
it's too bad. You know, a running back after his ACL at a young age might never come back the same as before.
Because like as far as talent goes, I mean he's one of the best we've ever seen out of college. He was incredible at Penn State, but without O line, you're just not gonna be able to do anything.
I'm going to Twitter for this. Twitter will have something.
Yeah, Twitter's probably a better source for this than just looking it up on Google.
Yeah, no, I remember I saw it somewhere. It was just like his pregame workout, and I was like, oh my god, his legs are literally entirely different sizes. Oh,
Mm.
Chargers scored.
yep. So that game's probably over.
What is it, 28-14 now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did all of us pick the Chargers in this
No,
one?
I picked the Raiders.
Let me check.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, Pat has the Raiders. Yes.
I'm gonna be what, like 5 games under
So
500?
wait,
You're gonna be 4. 'cause
This is
You're gonna be
important.
22 and 26.
How accurate were we predicting your predictions?
You were 100%.
100%.
You got every single game
Let's
right.
go!
God bless.
I didn't even look at the thing, and I made all my picks, and then I was like, all right, Dom, I'm gonna read them to you. I read them all to you. He's like, wow, we got every single one right.
If only that
We did a
actual
great
NFL
job.
games were that easy.
Right.
Why can't we pick like that for ourselves? But actually,
Why?
pick winning games.
Because we're picking based off trends that we
Yeah.
personally see,
that's
and
fair.
it's not like.
I mean, you have 5 guaranteed games. Whoever the Bills are playing wins.
Whoever the Chiefs,
Whoever the Chiefs are playing wins.
whoever the Jets,
Whoever the Jets are playing wins.
Dolphins?
the Patriots,
No, also the Dolphins. Whoever the Patriots, yeah,
just the
the
Patriots.
Patriots
Yeah.
win, and then the Raiders win.
Yeah.
That's
That's the.
You're
Are
not
those your
buying
guarantees each
guarantees.
week?
every single week.
Yeah,
All right.
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean those are what we've done.
Unless or the
This is a
Jaguars
good
or Bengals. I always pick the Jags or Bengals.
Or the Lions.
I do
The
like
Lions
to
have
pick the
become a
Lions.
team for you.
They have.
Yeah.
Because you know why? I need to make up some games now. So
But yet you're falling farther and farther
The
behind.
Lions
Yeah,
burned
listen.
everyone.
Oh,
Like,
But
I
consistently
know.
staying
It's so
with one.
disappointing.
they could not find the end zone. It was infuriating.
I'm
Jared
playing the
Goof
long
came
game.
back.
Oh, I know.
It
That's
wasn't
snap
his
he
fault.
wasn't ready
Yeah,
for.
that's not his fault.
No, I know it's
And then
not. at
And they
all.
just they lost Romeo Aquara for the rest of the year. I think he
Who?
was Achilles, one of their star edge rushers.
Yeah,
star edge rusher on the Lions is fourth string anywhere else.
Not for the
that's
Chiefs.
not true.
Sorry.
We get it. The Chiefs don't have a good defense, Ryan.
Top 20 though.
Is no.
Right now,
That was 22
bottom
years ago.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, not bottom 30. They're 32nd. This is the worst defense.
Yes.
The Titans compete with them for that. but-
Paul 13.
Titans in the football team.
Yeah, dude, Washington. Huh.
All right, Dom, give us our records going into week 5.
All right. So this is not including the Monday Night Football game that it looks like the Chargers are going to win. This is not including it. So I am 30-17, which is 5 games back of Parker. He had another good week at 35-12. Ryan, you're still in front of me at 32-15. And then Pat, you are 22-25.
Going off.
Pat,
You were
2
doing
straight
fine,
years.
and then this week was rough.
I had a really bad week. You know, I do have a spread pick'em league, and I got
Are you the
one-
same one as Dom? Or a
No,
different one?
no, different one. I got one game right in the morning slate. Ooh. One
I'm in
game.
third place in my spread pick'em league. So if that result holds, I would win about $400.
I would absolutely love if the Raiders scored 2 touchdowns right now and missed like the extra point or something just to cover the spread.
I would.
What was the spread for this game? 3
It
and a
was
half?
3.5. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It closed at 3,
Okay.
but it opened at 3.5.
All right, so we've got our records. Parker is in first. I'm in second. Dom, the reigning 2-time champion, is in third. And then, no shock, Pat is in last.
If we're
Okay.
doing against the spread, I have 35 games right against the spread, but I have 30 straight up. I think that's really weird.
That is a little.
You're just good with the spreads.
I know.
All right, game 1 for this week, Thursday night. Dom alluded to it earlier. Rams in Seattle take on the Seahawks.
So I'm going to go first. I don't think the Rams are going to have a quick enough week and turn around, get ready to go on the road and play in Seattle. So I'm going to take the Seahawks here. It's always tough to pick against the Rams, but the Seahawks, they looked a lot better against the Niners, and this would be a crucial 2-week stretch for both these teams. That the Seahawks go 2-0 against the division and the Rams go. So I'm going to take Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams in this one. I'm still pretty high on them. I think that they're an unstoppable force in the league, even though they're stopped. But you know, they're gonna get going again. I think. I hope. Give me the Rams.
This is such a tough game. This is one of those where, because I make a lot of these picks week to week, like weeks in advance. Like this is like week 1 where I did this. I've gone back and forth. I'm gonna go with the Rams here. I just feel like they are such a good team, and they showed such good signs to take on the Buccaneers, take them down the way that they did. I feel like they bounced back after that loss. It was a difficult pill to swallow for them, but I just have a little bit too much hope. And it's going to be a really difficult game. Being able to go in Seattle, one of the tougher environments in the NFL, but I just have a feeling that they're going to be able to do it.
Dom, we've all known that the NFC West was going to be a dogfight the whole entire year, and that it is crucial for the Rams to take advantage of their outside schedule of the division, but also take care of business in games that they feel that they should win at home. And they didn't do that last week, but I think they're going to go on the road this week and beat the Seahawks. So I'm going to take the Rams in this one as they come back. And like you said earlier, they play well against Russell Wilson. So I feel like that's going to play a factor as well.
Oh, so I'm alone on the Seahawks picking against my team. Cool.
Yeah,
I'm not doing-
almost getting this week.
I'm not doing that to jinx either.
I
So
know.
I truly think the Seahawks are going to win.
Next up, this could be the toilet bowl of the year.
Oh yeah,
Jets in Atlanta.
gross.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take Atlanta. I think that the Jets, they aren't playing a totally depleted defense. I think it's going to be a good game, and I say that with quotations because,
A good game for their standards.
Yeah,
So
just a close game.
but I'm going to take
Yeah.
the Falcons here. I assume that you guys are going to join me.
Give me the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons. Like I said, their offense sucks. Their defense sucks. There's nothing going for them, but they're at home when they're facing just as bad, if not worse, team. So the Hawks, almost said Hawks. Wrong thing with NBA season coming up. Falcons are going to win this one.
I would take the Falcons as well. I think that when you look at this, the Jets faced a very depleted team in the Tennessee Titans, and they have a horrible secondary. And plus, you saw the Falcons put 30 points against a football team's defense that has been very disappointing, but has so much talent, and they took that team to the brink. So I'm going to take the Falcons in this one at home. Next up, Pat, Patriots. Try to take on your boy Davis Mills and the Texans.
I'm going to pray to God we can win this one. I am going to pray to God that McCorkle gets his chance. Because Mac Jones is just what Mac stands for, if you don't know out there.
Awesome.
I'm praying to God McCorkle can take the field and absolutely dominate the Texans this week to really get us started. This will be like his week to
I do
really
have a
start.
question.
Yeah,
A lot of his passes this year have been checkdowns and short throws. Do you think that this
fire
could
Josh
be,
McDaniels.
do you think that this could be the week where they might expand the playbook and let him try to throw the ball downfield?
Well, that's what I'm hoping, and so that's what I was about to get into. Is like
Okay.
I hope this is his week to really get comfortable with the playbook,
Okay.
and like really just go out there and let it go, like get somebody that isn't the practice squad.
That's fair.
So I don't know. This might be McCorkle's week, but give me the Patriots in this one, please, for the love of God.
Yeah, I got them winning too. You know, it's just they've shown so much more. Mac has shown so much more
Yeah.
than Davis Mills.
And you can't tell me we lost by 2 to the Buccaneers and we're going to lose to the Houston Texans. With Bill
Yeah,
Belichick.
no.
They're
Like
good.
if Tyrod's playing, this is a completely different game. Davis Mills is not Tyrod Taylor. This is a game where the Patriots should win this and go to 2-3.
I do have a question. How's this game entirely different? Do you mean by a point between the deficit of the loss for the Texans?
Well, yeah, I mean Tyrod Taylor would. I mean, with him in the 2 weeks he played, their offense looked pretty good. Like,
Yeah, you have a
taking into
point.
consideration who they played, but still, like they look good. But Davis Mills is not Tyrod Taylor, so it's not gonna happen.
Derwin James interception, so that game
Yeah,
is
that's
absolutely
it.
over.
Yes! Raiders!
Oh yeah,
Three-way
Ryan.
tie.
Oh yeah,
Three-way
Ryan.
tie. Look at that.
All
No,
right.
it's not a three-way tie.
3.
Oh
one.
yeah, because the Broncos. Sorry, the Chiefs are still in last.
I was going to say, the Chiefs still own last place in that division.
Not for long.
Well, the only person who really owns anything in that division is the Chiefs in last place.
Valid.
So,
And you know what
Your
else?
team is 1-3.
You know what
Your team is
else?
last
You know
place
what
in
else
the
owns
division.
something?
Hmm.
You own real estate in Ryan's head.
I do.
The only person that ever will.
Yeah.
The only person that
I'll
does.
take that title.
The only person that doesn't ever will. Dom seems to think he does, but he never has.
I don't. I paid to live in that.
Yeah, it's not rent
No.
free.
Yeah.
I already paid off.
It's
on
not
the
rent free.
mortgage.
I
No,
paid.
but you don't live in my head. Only Pat does.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
You can stay in my timeshare if you want.
Look, so where was I going with this? I had something football related to talk about, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Dom, you have to make your pick for this week.
Well, I mean, I'm going to take the Patriots.
Let's go.
They get to 2-3. Like I said, go 3-1 over the next 4 games, and you're back at 500.
Oh, it was about the Chiefs sucking. Yeah, you're last place in your division or not.
You're tied for last, and you have a worse division.
Or not. We don't own last place. We are tied for it.
You own a worse record.
Well, you
own last place.
I
I don't know what to tell you. Last in the division doesn't make the playoffs.
1-3 doesn't make the playoffs.
Okay, but you went to the Super Bowl last year.
I don't know where this is going.
All right.
I'm
I
trying
think-
to twist the
We all
knife
took the
tonight,
Patriots,
Oh,
right?
I know.
No, I haven't made my
know.
pick yet, but I am going to take the Patriots.
Thank
There's
you.
no doubt. I'm never going to pick Texans this week. I mean, this year. So yeah, give me the Patriots. Next up, Lions at Vikings. NFC North matchup.
I'm going to take the Vikings. I think they're one of the best 1-3 football teams I've ever seen. 3 really close games against 3-1 teams.
Yeah.
And then they dismantled the Seahawks. I'm going to take the Vikings here. Lions, unfortunately, fall to 0-5.
Yeah.
They were going to be one of the best 0-5 teams that I've seen, which is weird.
Vikings they're winning this game. You pretty much said everything I was going to say. Their games have been close. They've been extremely unlucky, and it just there's no way that unluckiness follows them in this game. They're going to beat Detroit.
So unfortunately, I did pick the Vikings to win the division at the start of the year.
Yes, you did.
And that's not looking great right now, but I still think it's possible. They're, like you said, they're one of the best 1-3 football teams ever.
They're 2 games back. They just got to keep winning.
Right. So, yeah, give me the Vikings one. I can't see it there or the Lions one. But it is a divisional game. So anything could happen.
I'm going to take the Vikings. The place where I would think that the Lions would win the game would be at home. But also, this Vikings team has taken the Cardinals, who are the lone undefeated team, to the brink. Greg Joseph missed field goal is why they didn't win that game. And I just think that this Vikings team, I agree with you 100%, Dom, is the best 1-3 team that we have seen. So give me the Vikings in this one. Next up, the Eagles travel to Carolina to take on the Panthers.
I'm going to take the Panthers. They're going to come off a tough loss against Dallas. The offense still played well, but the Dallas Cowboys defense isn't great. It's been a lot better than we've expected, but Carolina's going to win.
I think that this is going to end up being a like one of those games I'm just going to try to make up because I can get it. But this one, I'm going to take the Eagles in this one.
Wow.
It's not my most confident pick, but it's also a pick I can see going either way.
How many picks are you really confident in each week?
100% of them.
There's just no way. There's no way.
100% of them.
No way. Not possible.
Maybe I'm the meta football fan here.
Well, in this game, the Eagles' run defense is atrocious, and Sam Darnold. Did he still lead the NFL with 5 rushing touchdowns?
Yes,
he
Okay,
does.
I assume he did. I think the next was like
Which is
bunch of guys
wild.
with 3.
Slippery Sam, I've put it into motion.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Love me some Sam Darnold. I think that he's going to have a big game. They're going to win that game. Carolina's going to move to 4-1.
Give me Carolina in this one. Sam Darnold has proved that with some talent around him and an improved offensive line, he can be a dangerous quarterback with his legs. And I think that this team is just better than the Eagles, who have a horrible run defense and just not a very good defense overall. So give me the Panthers in this one. Next up, Saints travel to Washington.
Really tough game to pick because these two teams have played Jekyll and Hyde. The Saints, they start off with a win, then they lost, then they won again. Everyone's like, the week 2 was a fluke. Then they lose to the Giants at home. Washington, they start off with a bad loss, then they get a really scrappy win. Then they have a really bad loss. They have a really scrappy win. So we're still figuring out what these two teams are, but they're 2-2. So they can both make the playoffs reasonably. I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints because I think we've seen a little bit more from them. This Washington defense has been so utterly disappointing. I don't even know what to think of them anymore. The offense, it's very confusing. I'm going to take the Saints.
This is a game where it starts off so depressing in my voice, but it's just like I talked about how Washington's allowing 29.5 a game as a team that's really, really bad, especially since they haven't had a particularly difficult schedule as far as offenses go that they're faced up against. And I just look at it, and everything points to the Saints winning this game. The only problem is I'm not high on the Saints. I was coming into the year, and I'm still not. They're coming off a rough loss to the Giants. Could they bounce back? Absolutely. Should they, based on the fact that they're playing a really bad defense right now? Yes. I feel like my brain is telling me Saints makes a little bit more sense, but I'm still going to go with Washington at home just because I don't like either team, so it just seems better to just pick the home team in one of these games.
Hammer the football team.
Hammer the football team?
Hammer.
Wow, I'm surprised you say that.
I'll be curious to see what this line is tomorrow.
I think that Sean Payton made a catastrophic mistake by putting in Taysom Hill. He was doing a horrible interception after a dime from James that was taken away by a holding call.
Sean Payton's overrated head coach.
I agree with that statement.
So overrated.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to take Washington at home.
Sean Payton sucks.
Next
He
up.
sucks.
No, he's a bad person.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's
He
fair.
should-
Okay.
He should not be able to have a job in the
I
NFL.
cannot believe he still has a job.
It's
Yeah,
shocking.
same.
that I still
It's
have it.
awesome when when Jonathan Vilmas comes on Fox and then he was defense pilots for 2009. I'm like, I wonder how much he got paid after that tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, even worse, like Sean Payton, it's not even that he still has a job. He didn't even get fired from that team.
Yeah.
He still has a job with the same organization.
Yeah, and you have a point there. That's it's still kind of baffling to me that they just did fire him after that whole thing.
Yeah.
But give me Washington in this game. Next up, Titans travel to the Jaguars.
I'm going to take the Titans here. I was tempted. Wait, no, I selected the Jaguars here. The Jaguars, they break their 0-4 streak. They're going to have to win at some point. Trevor Lawrence finally looked good. The defense sucks. I'm going to take the Jaguars here. I don't know if I'm going to be alone on this,
I'm
but
so
we're-
tempted too.
we're going with Trevor Lawrence here. You know what? It's risky, but at some point, this team's going to win. And if we all take Tennessee, that's no fun. We did it last week.
I really can't bring myself to pick against the Titans. You can't expect them to lose to the Jags and the Jets 2 weeks in a row. That's just depressing.
Jets beat the Rams.
No, I
and
get it.
Browns in back-to-back weeks.
I get it. It could happen. But those poor guys, I can't pick against them. I'd feel too bad. Give me the Titans.
This is another game that I don't like because of the fact that while the Titans when healthy are a much better football team than the Jaguars,
They're not.
they 100% are. They 100%.
No, they're not. They're not healthy. They're not healthy. They're not healthy. When they're healthy, but I'm saying they're not healthy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you
Oh
almost-
my
you
God.
almost
I thought
lost
you were
all
saying
four
you're
right here.
No, you guys,
I
come
was
on.
about to break this glass.
Very, very
A
bad.
flying pat was about to come your way.
Yeah, so I mean, just like that statement doesn't matter because in this game they're not going to be. It's so tough because it's been so close. I mean, Jacksonville was so close. They were a game-winning field goal away from potentially getting their first win with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback in his rookie year. He's looked pretty good. He's made some really good throws. Sure, he's had some bad picks, but still, he's looked pretty good. He's shown flashes. This could be a game at home where he shows some more flashes, and ultimately they scored just enough because that defense is so atrocious over there at Tennessee. So I am extremely tempted, but I feel like I'm going to kick myself if they don't go on to win this game. So I feel like it feels a little bit better if I just go with the Titans on this one.
I'm gonna go with the Titans. It just feels wrong to pick the Jaguars in this game. I think Derrick Henry's gonna have a massive game. I think
You're wrong.
Ryan Tannehill proved that he could be effective without his top two guys. So give me the Titans in this one. But I think it's definitely gonna be a close
Please,
game.
Derrick Henry rush for 200 yards.
No.
He's gonna have
He
to.
does own Jacksonville, but their defensive line hasn't been that bad. The defense has been fine. It's just been the offense. And Urban Meyer, what
Oh,
a
my.
clown show that has
Urban
been.
Meyer, dude.
Oh my god.
Just accept USC job. That's all.
What up?
already.
Do you really? Does anyone really think there's gonna be a
How-
year or two?
how
of
does
Urban
someone-
Meyer?
how does
or maybe
anyone-
even a full year?
How does anyone hire him at this point?
Guy takes an L like that and takes a night out at the club. You gotta respect it.
Oh, I know that video was hilarious, man.
You
I
gotta
don't know if the
respect it.
video or a
At the
photo.
same exact time, like that was going around. Somebody posted a picture of like just him at the bar with like some random guys like wanted to take a picture.
Yeah.
Then did you see his wife quote tweeted it? And she's
No.
like, "Oh, meanwhile I'm here babysitting. Grandpa deserved a night out." And then
For
like,
what? Losing?
and then like
Probably just because they
working hard, he's having a hard. And then like 20 minutes later, the video was posted of that random girl grinding on him.
So funny.
So, well,
So
grandma was home with the grandkids.
I didn't see that.
That's-
That's hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of
there's some stuff on it.
I seriously doubt if he'll make it through the season. I seriously do.
I don't think he makes it through week 7.
It wouldn't shock me if he didn't make it that long. At this point, it's likely that I could see him resigning and then going to USC.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me.
Why
if
would
that
USC hire him after watching this?
Because they know at the college level he's had a lot of success.
Right.
happened. He knows how to recruit.
Right, but
Yeah,
his last
best attributes is recruiting.
Yeah.
ability.
right, but if you're a college student and you're watching what's gone down in Jacksonville, how do you go play for him? I don't understand it.
Look, I think that
Because his last couple of years at Ohio State were not good.
I think there's
they
some
were.
better candidates out there.
There are a
Personally,
ton after
but-
seeing what he's done.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the benefit of the doubt because of his resume.
Also, there's the targets that I see USC going after. I don't know if they're willing to leave their schools. Luke Fickle, I don't know if he'll leave Cincy. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna get paid like
yeah,
And the thing
$1
too
billion.
with like Urban Meyer is like his best attribute is his ability to recruit and bring guys over. USC, that's not a problem for USC. That's literally the only thing that's probably not a problem for USC. They're able to always have one of the top 5, at least top 10 classes when they're really bad. They still do it because guys want to play for a historic franchise over there in SoCal. They want to live it up. So that's not an issue. So I personally think they should bring in a better coach because the coaching staff's what will help USC back since Pete Carroll era. So personally, I'm not a fan of it, but I could definitely see a scenario where it does happen.
all right. Ready for the next game?
yeah, we gotta go. We got
Yeah,
10
let's
minutes
get
left.
let's get going. Dolphins at Buccaneers.
Dolphins at Buck. I'm gonna take the Bucks. The Dolphins, they look horrible. Colts. So I think the Buccaneers, after almost losing after a bad loss, they're gonna come ready to play.
P-U-C-C-A-N-E-E-R-S.
Go Bucks!
Really got to earn that one. A lot of letters in that. So
It's a great chant.
yeah, I'm going with the Buccaneers too. The Dolphins haven't shown much. The Buccaneers are significantly better. There's really nothing more to go about.
Yeah, there's nothing really to say here. The Bucks are the better team, so the Bucks are going to take this game, in my opinion. Next up, Packers at Bengals.
This was actually a surprisingly good game considering what these two teams have looked like. I'm gonna go with the Packers though. I just trust Aaron Rodgers significantly more than I do Joe Burrow, but
I agree.
Burrow, he's been impressive so far. We'll see if he can do it against the Packers defense.
Go Bengals.
Yeah, I have Packers too. But yeah, no, I mean, props to Joe Burrow and props to Bengals fans being able to enjoy football where they're kicking walk-off field goals, and they're just winning games and starting out 3-1. So that's exciting for them. Seems like, the future's relatively bright for them. But still going with the Packers. They're the better team. And while the Bengals are 3-1, I'd just be kind of shocked, to say the least, if they went on to win this game at home. So Packers going to win this one.
I'm going to take the Packers in this one. I just don't think that this Cincy defense is going to be able to handle Aaron Rodgers. They've been able to do a good job against the likes of Ben Roethlisberger. And,
That
but
doesn't say anything.
yeah, so I'm sorry. I just don't, like you said, Dom, I trust Aaron Rodgers more than Joe Burrow. So give me the Packers in this one. Next up, Broncos look to rebound in Pittsburgh against the Steelers.
Speaking of Big Ben,
This is going to be the grave digging of Ben Roethlisberger. Sorry, Grandma.
I think that
Your grandma's an Roethlisberger fan?
She's from Pittsburgh.
Oh,
So
Try to transition her to being a Mason Rudolph fan or something.
this is
these options are just horrible.
I mean, Ben Roethlisberger is definitely the worst of the three. Because while they all suck at football,
it's close.
he's done some things off the field that the other two haven't. Anyways. Oh, well, there goes the air out of the room.
Yeah, you really sucked the air out there, buddy.
Give me the Broncos in this one. Still pretty high on them.
Yeah, I'm taking them. Teddy's in concussion protocol, so we don't know who's going to play in this game, depending on how that plays out. It was a pretty nasty hit, no penalty, of course. The thing is, the Steelers are just really bad. Like that's why I feel good about the Broncos winning this game. That's what it comes down to. So Denver.
Dom, have you made your pick?
Yeah, I took the Broncos.
I'm taking the Broncos. I really like that secondary. I like that defense. It's one of the best in the league. And I think they're going to make Big Ben look even worse than he has been, if that's even possible. So give me the Broncos in this one. Next up, Bears in Vegas against the Raiders.
I'm going to take the Raiders. They didn't look great on Monday Night Football, but I think that says more about the Chargers. I think they're going to have a good week of practice.
Chargers look good.
The Raiders are going to respond here.
Yep, I'm in agreement. I don't have much faith in the Bears and Justin Fields early on in his career. I think he can definitely have a good career, but the time for that is not now. I think that the Raiders moved to 4-1, which if you would have told me this a month and a half ago, I would have been shocked. But it seems like the Raiders are going to win that game.
The Bears are just one of those teams that's so hard to watch. I just get no enjoyment out of watching them play. And I can start naming all the teams that I get no enjoyment out of watching them play. Steelers are one of them.
I feel like my Pick'ems record with the Bears has to be the worst team in the league. It has to.
Yeah.
What about the Giants?
They're up there too because of Evan Ingram and only Evan Ingram.
Like, I'd rather watch the Giants play than both the Bears and the Steelers.
Yeah, I would.
Danny Dimes is fun. I
So,
mean,
who else
is fine?
the Bears should be a fun team to watch. Good defense, fun
Yeah.
quarterback.
Who do
but
the
they're
Steelers play this week?
just not.
Packers.
No,
No,
the
the
Steelers.
Steelers.
Oh, Steelers?
Packers.
They play
Yeah,
Packers.
Steelers for the Packers.
Oh,
No,
right.
The Bears just for the Lions.
Bears, Lions is another team that's just unbearable. The NFC North, I have no fun watching.
Yeah.
Even
Other
the
than Aaron
Packers.
Rodgers.
No, the Vikings are pretty fun.
Vikings are fun. There you go.
They had a rough week, but
All right. So,
Anyway.
go ahead. Finish.
I don't know if you can tell I'm not picking the Bears.
Yeah.
That's,
yeah,
Yeah, I can tell you're going with the Raiders.
unanimous on the Raiders.
I'm going to pick the Raiders.
All
This
right.
Bears team is just pitiful to watch.
we recorded.
They're 2-2 though. They are 2-2. They're only a game out of the division.
That
Hard
is
to
true.
believe.
Next up, Browns Chargers in LA.
I'm gonna take the Chargers actually here. This is the first time this year I've picked the Chargers on air. I swapped my pick to the Chargers week 2, and then they lost. So I'm hoping that by picking the Chargers here they lose. But I've been super impressed by them. The Browns, Baker Mayfield didn't look great last week. I think the Chargers end up winning this game. It should be a great game. 2 good young quarterbacks, 2 good young head coaches. I think this will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm not super high on the Browns. I'm going to pick the Chargers.
This is a really difficult game between 2 really good teams. I'm going to take Cleveland. The Chargers have definitely looked really good. Herbert looks legit. He's backing up what he did his rookie year. And the team is staying healthy. And that's the X factor for this team every year.
Gary
So,
Tillery did go down. He'd been good up
And
front.
Kenneth Murray's now on IR.
yeah, he got put on IR, but by their standards, that's not too bad. They'll take that. So the Chargers are really good. That's going to be a tough game, but I think a lot of Browns fans are going to fill up the stadium. They're going to show up. They're going to be loud, and it's going to be a really good game. But I think Cleveland pulls it out.
I'm taking Cleveland in this one. I think that defense has just looked so good since week 1, and I think they're going to get them that win despite the offense being out of sync. Next up, Giants Cowboys.
I'm gonna rock with the Cowboys. I don't think any explanations really.
Yeah,
needed.
no explanation.
Tigers. Cowboys. Yeah, Cowboys. win this.
I really don't want to pick the Cowboys, but I really don't want to pick the Giants.
All right.
This one ends in a tie. Can I do that?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead.
If
Go
it's
ahead.
a tie, you get 2 points. I'll give you 2 wins.
Okay,
There we go.
that's fair.
Game ends in a tie.
I'm going to take the Cowboys. Next up, Niners Cardinals.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I think they remain undefeated, but they could have a letdown week after a really good win.
Yeah.
Beware.
I got the Cardinals winning too. They're a team that looks pretty good right now. I'm not high on the Niners. Really, ever since that Eagles game week 2, they look like frauds. They're gonna win some more games here and there, but I don't see them winning this one. Cardinals.
You go Cards.
I'm taking the Cardinals in this one, and for the exact reasons Parker said. I just haven't seen much from the Niners. So Arizona takes this one. Sunday night, Bills Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Bills, they've been super impressive. I could argue they've probably been the second most impressive team so far after that week 1 loss.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Bills.
No, I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one.
Wow.
The Bills, they outscored. I don't know what number, but they've outscored their opponents last 3 weeks by like nearly 100.
They have 2 shutouts.
Obviously, it helps. Yeah, 2 shutouts. They won by 40 last week. So I do have the Bills winning this one. They look really good. They bounced back in the best way you could have possibly asked them to after that rough loss week 1.
I'm taking the Bills.
There you go. There it is.
I did it last
Oh
year.
my God!
This is one
Hey!
game.
We don't
One
even
game.
need to say the Ravens game.
Listen to me. The one game I picked against the Chiefs last year was the Bills, and the Chiefs really handled them. So hopefully that's the same way. But this defense of the Chiefs, I don't think we'll be able to stop them. It would not shock me if Allen puts up and that offense puts up at least 40 points. It gets to the point where the Chiefs offense can't do that much. So I'm going to take the Bills in this one, but hopefully same effect as last year. And lastly, Monday night, Colts Ravens in Baltimore.
Baltimore. I think it's going to be a close game, though. I think the Colts play another good football game, and I think they're actually going to do a good job against the Baltimore rushing attack.
There's just no winners in this one. Again, can I pick another tie? No.
Go right ahead. You have a chance to really gain ground here with Ty.
I know.
You get a loss if there's no tie.
What are the statistical odds of 2 ties 1 week?
Good.
Probably 1 million. No, worse. Probably worse.
No, probably a little better than that.
2 ties in 1 week?
Anyways, give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Ravens.
Actually, no. You know what? Give me the Colts.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the Ravens. This could be a pretty good game. Just currently based on ESPN Fantasy, they're giving a 95% pick rate for the Ravens. That seems a little bit high.
Very high.
But I am one of those people, so I can't, judge it too much.
They
So,
are
yeah.
7.5 point favorites. I did see that.
Yeah, I think the Ravens win this game. Lamar Jackson's very difficult to contain. That defense looks good, so it adds up at home.
All right. I'm going to take the Ravens in this one at home. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this week's episode of the 4-3 Show. We'll be back next week. More football talk. And who knows, we might expand into the college arena. Just depends. See you guys next week.
That was so